Hi, my people. I'm here again with my usual way of life, usual way of sharing good news, ensuring that I keep you guys abreast of the best things happening in the community, especially to registered nurses and to you that are friends of registered nurses all around the world. And what I'll be sharing with you this time around is that beautiful thing that the College of Registered Nurses of Newfoundland and Labrador has decided to do coming June 5th this year 2023, and you will benefit maximally from it. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your enemies too, at least. If they do well through you, they will not be your enemies again. So please tell them, anyone that cares to know and anyone that fits, that is a good fit for what these guys are set out to start doing for us come 5th of this month, June 2023. Tell everyone. So let's people start getting things done. And this is especially important for many of my people because I'm sure some people have written their NCLEX and some are in the process of visa applications, but the retrogression whatsoever is the English those guys are using to define or describe what they are doing are setting, and you are getting tired, maybe becoming frustrated or thinking too much about it. Then if you have some cash on you, this may be something you may want to give a go. And so the College of Registered Nurses Newfoundland and Labrador said they've created two pathways for registered nurses around the world. A pathway is the one that people who have been registered in countries like USA, United Kingdom, Ireland, India, Philippines, Australia, and New Zealand will be eligible to take. And the other pathway are for those people who have been trained and registered in other countries that are not these countries that I've mentioned. So let's go through what it's going to take altogether. And so before I continue, my name is Shade. Many people do call me Mentor Shade. I'm one of the facilitators at Unified OSCE, and what we do is train people in passing their test and also creating awareness on those places that nurses can migrate to. We do more than that too because we do general migration talks, and please note that we are not registered immigration agents or agencies, and we don't have any preferential treatment for any countries taking immigrants. We don't have special recommendations for any agencies. We just give out general knowledge as in relation to the knowledge of migration that we have. So there are things you too can read up online and merge the ideas we will be giving out here to whatsoever you are hearing or learning online or reading online. So please stay tuned with us. Let's go through this process together. If you've passed your NCLEX and you've been wondering, you are a bit getting tired, you cannot wait till October when the retrogression will be lifted, and you might be thinking, okay, if the retrogression is lifted, then how soon do I know that I'm going to get my visa to the United States of America? Or you wrote the NCLEX and you are still wondering, what do you want to do with it? You don't want to go to the USA, or you are still pondering on what you want to do with it. This may be that beautiful opportunity that you are waiting for. So, interestingly too, you may be interested in knowing that NAS since last year October 14th, they've stopped accepting English language to assess nurses. So if you want to choose NAS as well as your assessment authority or assessing body for this process, then it's quite good for you. They've left the they've committed the English language acceptances or whatsoever into the hands of the state or the province that is going to be registering that nurse. And I think that's not a bad news at all. It's one of the good news we've been waiting for. This doesn't mean that all the provinces have scrapped English language. It just means that you can submit your documents to NAS and they would assess you. They can continue the assessment while you are pulling writing your English test and passing the test, if that's what the state you want to register with actually need. So let's go. Let's see what they've cooked for us, they've served for us, and let's start dining. Let's now talk about the internationally educated nurses registration pathway to College of Registered Nurses of Newfoundland and Labrador. And this pathway is starting on the 5th of this month of June. It's going to be in two pathways. Those who are educated in countries like USA, UK, Ireland, India, Philippines, Australia, or New Zealand are said to be from the designated countries. And there is another pathway for those who are going through the general nursing pathway. Either way, we will fall into one of these groups. So I want us to go along, especially those of us who are not in any of these designated countries. For those who are in the designated countries, you will have some things to do to be eligible for that pathway. You must be from any of those designated countries, and you have been encouraged to read through the frequently asked questions. I'm going to put that link after at the end of this video, so that you'll be able to have a look at it. Then you will not qualify for this process if you have a temporary residency status, or if your license is temporary, or if your license is an emergency or conditional or restricted license, or if that license has expired or has lapsed, or your license is not in good standing, or just those things. If you don't meet up with those ones, then you are not going to be eligible for that pathway. Let's talk of a pathway that might be the one that would concern many of us, which is the general registration pathway. And you will be qualified if you are not from any of those seven mentioned countries. If you've not been trained there, you've not been educated there, or gained your licensure in any of those countries, then you are a good fit for this general registration pathway. Then the process for this registration, I will highlight it for us in a moment. So the process for this registration, you are required to complete the education credential assessment, which may be through WES, through SES, that's Comparative Education Service of University of Toronto, or that of British Columbia. You can go through NAS. And the beautiful thing again is that NAS these days have scrapped that big cogwheel. They've taken it off, that you must have a particular English language test, and you must score a particular, you must have a particular. They have left that one now, committed it into the hands of the provincial licensure body. So it's no longer with NAS. So take a deep breath and be happy that at least that is happening now. So you will to fill your form, make a payment of 172.50 Canadian dollars, which is less than 150 British pound. That means it will be less than maybe 150,000 naira. And depending on which exchange platform you are doing your payments, it might be way cheaper than that, maybe between 130 and 140,000. Then you have to submit 2 copies of means of identification. I encourage that you should let your international passport be there, and your birth certificate, then your driver's license. You can use any of these to your PR, permanent resident card, your citizenship card, your immigration card, You must submit your marriage certificate and or legal change of name, submit your CSI screening. So you must put that into consideration and submit them. Of course, when they are doing your application, they will let you know when you are to submit your CSI, because this document expires maybe at the most in 6 months. Then you must meet English language proficiency requirements. This one you can start preparing your English while your assessment is ongoing, and it might be much easier to go through this pathway too if you've passed your NCLEX, because if you've passed your NCLEX, then it will mean that they would sort of believe that you are it will help them to expedite your process. So all they will need to do is go through your documents, issue you your license, then you start your immigration process. Then they will verify your registration. Those who are coming from India, they will be doing paper verification for them. But for those of us who are in Nigeria and other, they are doing online verification. I think that makes life a bit much more easier for some people, whichever way we get all those things done. So I've dropped this link for every one of us to read. And if you think that Newfound and Labrador are your places, then this is the best time to give this one an effort. You know your good standing will be checked. They will need to see your details of work, like your employment information or referencing, and that means you may need to contact your employers at some point. At some point, they would ask employers to fill forms. Then you must be able to supply the number of hours you are practicing or that you've practiced per annum in those years that you've been practicing, at least maybe like the 5 years down your practice year. So these and some other things are the things you will need to provide if you are going through this general pathway. But I know it's going to be a good ride for every one of us. So let's encourage ourselves, let's encourage family members, let's encourage friends to give this a go. And so some people will make the requirement for licensure, like they will issue them the license. Some people will not meet them and they will issue them the if they meet the education requirements and currency of practice, and they will be eligible for interim license and will be authorized to take NCLEX. That's for those people who have not taken NCLEX, who have not passed their NCLEX already. So for those who have passed already, they are going to give them their license and they start the immigration process. Now, some people will meet the education requirements, but they may not meet currency of practice requirements. In that situation, for people who do not meet currency of practice requirements, these ones may be eligible for interim license with conditions. They will give them conditions like to practice in supervised practice experience program with maybe specified or accredited employer, so that they can gain currency of hours like 450 hours if their experiences are short of. Then some will be referred to bridging program or entry programs, depending on the need of everyone. The application, if you've submitted your documents fully, they did say they will return within 5 to 7 business days. So I think it's going to be a very quick process, and I wish every one of us good luck. So have a look at the link here, read, ask questions so that we can share information together and we'll get going great. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like this channel, share the information we have here, and share the channel with your friends so that they too can gain maximally from what you are enjoying. Bye.